Hey, I've been trying to figure out how to install this internal throttle made by Exile. They're fucking rad quality, they're good shit. But all this fucking information for 1,000-word essays, confusing as fuck. So I've kind of just left that, mechanically looked at it and figured out how it works, and now I'm just running with it. I went and bought this $20 probably dirt bike, external adjustable outer sheath with the new cable. I liked the fact that it had a 90 instead of straight out of the carb, or sort of 70-degree angle that some of them come in. I've got adjustment there, I've got adjustment there. I was gonna cut this and then duck it into the end of my bars. I machined this, which I was going to cut off and weld onto the end of my bars like an original Indian sort of exit for your bars where your advance and retard and throttle will come out of. Don't know, I'll probably still do that, just because I done that like an original set of 50s Flanders. Heated it up, put a drift in it, and opened the hole for the angle of the internal throttle. I like that, but I don't know if it'll break. It shouldn't, but I just don't like the fact it's on the bend, vibration, they're rigid mounted bars. These are old Superior bars which I've cut up and made work. So I'll probably weld that on there and blend that, sort of like that, and my outer sheath can go in that. I also drilled and tapped instead of welding the internal throttle on, just because if it breaks, how the fuck am I going to get it off on the side of the road? So yeah, drilled and tapped that for grub screws, which is not factory like what Exile supply. They say weld it or glue it, or you use grub screws, but whatever. So yeah, those two holes come in the internal throttle. Those two I've drilled and tapped, filed out, so my sleeve on the inside works fine. There's your sleeve. I also spun that in the lathe, drilled that out to fit this bigger, which is just a electrical joiner, like one of those red crimp sort of things. It is copper, but it's just nickel plated for the better ground, I suppose. Exile supply you with this little copper one. It's fine, but I'm running a 1.5mm accelerator cable, which is just thicker and stronger. I run that because of the hard bends I'm on, so hence why I needed to go a bigger diameter. So I've machined that out to suit that. I'll probably sweat that onto the cable. I've machined the slide out to suit that, and then I'll use Exile's grub screws to seat it in there. Yeah, just put up this little video because there's not much how to, or there's a few forums on Chop Colt and that sort of stuff, Jockey Journal, but I like to see stuff. I didn't really like that list of information from Exile, so I have just sort of looked at it and mechanically figured it out how it works, and yeah, I hope what I've done is going to work. Just another thing, this is, S&S carb, where your old push-pull throttle, can you see that, would sit in there and in there. Because of that 90 dirt bike thing I've bought, that's not going to work, so I'm just using the push, or the pull to open the throttle, and I'm relying on the spring to snap back, which it's strong enough to. And then I've machined up this little brass sleeve, so that goes on the outside of there, and then the 90 dirt bike cable thing will duck out there under my tanks, because my tanks are going to hug over the head, and then up into the bars. So that was the logic there with the 90 as well, rather than the thing just shooting straight up into your tank. So something to think about when you're going to run this internal throttle. They're the best on the market. They're expensive, but they're good shit. They're made with nice roller bearings. They seat well. They're beautifully machined. Yeah, it's good shit. Hope that helps.